You know, we're all chasing the same dream, right? Big returns, zero risk. Sounds like a fantasy, but what if I told you the secret isn't some crazy algorithm or a hot stock tip? What if it's all about just seeing the world a little differently? What if the very idea of risk is something we've been getting wrong all along?
So let's just cut right to the chase. I mean, is there really such a thing as a risk-free return? Can you genuinely make money without putting your neck on the line? Is it real or is it just a myth? Believe it or not, the answer is yeah. Yes, it is. But here's the catch. The opportunity isn't buried in some Wall Street secret. It's not a market you haven't heard of. The key is understanding that risk. It's not some solid, universal fact. It's all about perspective. And your perspective? Well, that just might be your most valuable asset. And that brings us to this big idea, arbitrage. Now, this is way more than just buy low, sell high. Think of it like a knowledge gap. It's that magic moment when you, because of what you know, see a guaranteed win, while everyone else is biting their nails, seeing a huge gamble. The risk that scares them off? For you, it's just not there.
Okay, let's make this real. Imagine there's a shot to make 10 million bucks. The general public looks at it and goes, maybe a 10% chance this works out. So they're only willing to pay, say, $500,000 for that chance. But you've done your homework. You have a different insight. In your mind, the success rate is 100%. It's a sure thing. So you can swoop in, buy a guaranteed $10 million prize for just $500,000. That is a risk-free return. And it was created purely by what's in your head.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off with the risk-free promise, then talk about why being faster is a trap. After that, we'll get into your real advantage, time. Then we'll cover the 3 levels of investing and wrap up with how you can find your own personal goldmine. Okay, first up, the risk-free promise. Let's really get into how superior insight actually creates value. Here's the bottom line, and it's super important. If everybody sees the gold, well, the opportunity is already gone. It's that simple. If everyone agrees something is worth $10 million, you can bet the price is going to get bid up to $9.99 million and poof, the profit disappears. Your edge, your real advantage, only exists in that space where you can see pure gold while everyone else just sees a pile of rocks. All right, next up, let's talk about a huge mistake a lot of people make, the flaw of faster. This idea that speed is everything, it's just not a winning strategy in the long run. And this is a perfect example. Take the world of blockchain arbitrage. So you have one brilliant scientist, right? They build some super fast algorithm. And for a little while, they're raking it in. But what happens next? It's not a secret for long. Other people figure it out, copy it, and suddenly you have tons of scientists all fighting for the same scraps. The profit gets squeezed down to basically zero. Any edge based purely on being faster is always temporary. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. So what really determines if you can pull in those high profits? It's still your brain power. A faster tool, a clever technical trick, that's not the real long-term advantage. The only thing that lasts is your ability to outthink everyone else, to always be one step ahead, coming up with the next strategy, or even finding a whole new game to play. It's about being smarter, not just faster. So if it's not about speed, then what is it about? This brings us to your real advantage, the one that's most powerful, and honestly, the one most people completely ignore. And that advantage is time. It's the one arena where almost no one can or will compete with you. I mean, just look at this. Today, if you're trying to win in the next week or month, the field is packed. It's a total dogfight. But what happens when you stretch your timeline out? 2 years? The crowd thins. 5 years? Even fewer people. But 10 years? Suddenly you're practically the only one left standing. The competition just melts away.
So why? Why can't most people just wait it out? Well, it's simple. Life happens. People have mortgages to pay, kids' college to save for, emergencies pop up. They have these fixed timelines for when they need their money. Their capital just can't afford to be patient. But if you can set things up so that your investment money has no deadline, man, you've just unlocked a superpower that almost nobody else has. Okay, so we get it. Time is a huge advantage. But how do you actually use it? Let's get into a framework that I think is really powerful, the 3 levels of investing. This is all about moving from being just another player in the game to being the person who designs the entire game. So at level 1, you're what we'll call the regretful buyer. You're constantly stressed, always worrying, should I sell now? Did I miss the top? Then you might graduate to level 2, the PvP master.
You get good at the short-term game, outsmarting other players. But level 3? That's a whole different league. You become the architect. You're not trying to time the market anymore. You're making bets on things that are basically inevitable.
And the key to this level is a concept called fault tolerance. It means you're investing in things that are so strong, so destined to succeed, that your timing almost doesn't matter. Getting the timing a little wrong doesn't mean you lose money, it just means the difference between a big win and a huge win. You've essentially designed the possibility of failure right out of the equation. And this quote just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. Being technically skilled is good. Waiting at the finish line is better. I mean, think about it. You can train your whole life to be the fastest sprinter, or you can use your brain to figure out where the marathon is going to end in 10 years and just go stand there. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we make it practical? How do you actually find your gold mine? Well, it really boils down to a pretty straightforward 2-step strategy. Step 1, you got to pick the right field. You need to find the ponds that are just packed with fish. We're talking about areas with a massive built-in wealth effect. Then, step 2, once you're at the right pond, you need to build your advantage. And remember, we're not talking about a faster fishing rod. We're talking about becoming the person who understands that pond and those fish better and more deeply than anyone else. So let's look at an example to see what this looks like. You could bet on something like Moutai. It's a legendary brand, no doubt, but the culture around it, the reasons people use it, they're kind of shrinking. It's a bet on the past. Now compare that to something like AI or blockchain. These are technologies that are almost guaranteed to be a huge part of our future. They're going to become mainstream. That's a bet on the future. And a level 3 bet is always a bet on an inevitable future. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. I want you to forget all the noise. What's happening tomorrow? What's happening next week? Just based on what you uniquely know, what is that one powerful, inevitable bet you could make on the next 10 years that almost no one else is willing to make? Because that's where you're going to find your risk-free return.
Smash like and subscribe.